Aloha. This is my first time making a video like this. I have so many things that I want to say in honor of Elena. Um, there's, I met Elena when I was about 11 years old in the sixth grade. Um she was really, she really was a beacon of light for me. I like to say like she was a beacon of authenticity for me. I was figuring out who I was. I was coming out of being a child and becoming an adult slowly in my preteens, and Elena was really the strongest person for me in that time. She was very sure of herself. She was very confident and cute and intelligent. She was the smartest, one of the smartest people in our class, in our grade of that year. Um, everybody knew Elena as a really intelligent person, and I wasn't so school smart, at the time. So I really admired the fact that Elena was so intelligent, but she was also so rebellious and so different, and she didn't care what other people thought of her, And for me, coming into my own personality from a childhood, figuring out who I was, she was really yeah, she really impacted me in my life. I started the bands I started listening to when I was younger, the different heavy metal bands, and A Day to Remember. And A Day to Remember is a really big part of our friendship when we were younger, from like 11 to 15. Um, yeah, and even after this, like how I still have these in my ears. This was impacted by the friend groups that we were hanging out with, and a lot of little details, that Elena impacted for me. I remember going to her, like 12 years old. The first time I learned to use chopsticks was at her house with her family, with you guys, um, learning a little bit of Korean there, having ramen the first time, real ramen, um, watching My Neighbor Totoro the first time, watching Spirited Away, all of the Miyazaki films, watching with Elena, um, in her mom's apartment. It's like, yeah, so many memories there. So many nostalgic feelings that were getting brought up after this information I got last week. Um, when we were around like 14, 15 years old, I went to my first raves together with Elena. I went to my first raves in Philadelphia, and um, we were hanging out with a lot of older kids. She was always friends with older kids, and it was even a bit intimidating for me. Some of her friends, like, because we were younger, and she was always so much more mature for her age, and she always wanted to break out of the boxes. She was always breaking out of boxes. And this was my first influence. She was my first influence of this rebellious nature that I still have today. I'm still traveling the world, and I still living my life in this rebellious way. And she was really the first example that I had of that. She was always feeling so much more mature and older. Um, and I remember, like, one memory I have. We were going to it was an after school event, and we were on the bus, and all of the cool kids, all of the jocks, all of the football players, they would always sit in the back, in the very back of the bus. It was like their designated seat, and and I remember one time we went to the back to sit there, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna sit back here." There was nobody there yet, and she was like, "Yeah, fuck, I'll sit whatever I want." We sat back there, and then the kids 2 grades older, some football guys 2 grades older come, and they look at us, and they're like, "Yeah, you're sitting in our seat." And Elena looks at them, and I see the fear in their face right away. And I don't remember exactly what she said, but like she said something along the lines of yeah, oh yeah, it's your seat, fuck off. And just like, she just didn't give a fuck. She was really inspirational for me. And then we went to our first raves together. 15 years old, I did DMT for the first time, which is a powerful psychedelic, where this really impacted my life. It changed my life. And her friend found it for us, Tom Zanner, and the first time I ever smoked this DMT was there with her, and this really changed my life. I was really able to tap into a different part of myself and tapped into my higher self, and this experience would follow me for the rest of my life, and as well as the experiences there at her house, um, learning to use chopsticks, speaking Korean a little bit, um, and then her boyfriend that she was dating at the time, when we were about 15, Zach, his friend Dave introduced me to All Good, a festival in Ohio, my first big festival that I went with Elena and this guy Dave, and that's where I went to see Grateful Dead for the first time. Further, this band, which this changed my life completely. I started listening to the Grateful Dead after this, which, if anyone knows me, like this is a huge part of my life, and this was because of Elena. Um, she really impacted my life in so many ways. Like it's crazy to think about. I started thinking about it like recently after this. I got this information, and it's just like wow. It really is crazy for me to embrace this information. It's really sad, and it's also beautiful. It's I mean I'm we're all gonna die eventually. None of us are gonna stay alive forever. And in the end, death is just as important as birth and our life. It's just as important part of our process of being here and having a human body. Um, yeah.